Well, plastics are a regular part of our lives, but research shows they might not be the best for our health. Board certified holistic health practitioner Audree Lee joins us back this morning with some insight. Audree, thank you for being back. We appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right. So plastics, from water bottles to plastic baggies to containers that we get food in, it's literally all around us. We use it every single day. You say that this could be having a negative effect on our health, and why is that?
It is because we consume at least a credit card size of plastic every week.
Oh my goodness.
And things that we don't know, things we do every day, and we don't really pay attention. And that's part of the problem, we don't pay attention. But who's told us that those things were dangerous? That's the question. But from your morning coffee, your stirrers, even the cups and things that they come in, those things are all toxic to our bodies, and the plastic gets inside, especially when we heat it.
Okay. And what is it about plastic that makes it so hazardous for our bodies? Is it that we can't not consume it, but can't break it down in the proper form?
You can't break it down, and it's not good for the body. We think about the oil spill and the plastics that floated into the oceans and got into the fish even. They say because of that, we're even getting plastic inside of our bodies. But it's not just the plastic that we know that we see. It's the plastics from the dry cleaners. I mean, just making people think. Think about any time that plastic gets connected to something that you're doing. But the biggest one is the black plastics.
Okay. And and you even said, well, this is a black plastic, but this is a small black plastic.
Yes.
This is like a stir that you would use to stir coffee or something. So something as small as this, but then you're saying like spatulas, things that we use in the kitchen.
Yes.
Why the black plastic? What is it about those that makes it even more?
The black plastics come from the computer equipments and things that we use. They're like repurposing things, and it's okay to repurposing, but it shouldn't harm us in the repurposing because people are having reproduction problems, obesity problems. There's a whole list of problems, even mental problems for children and even adults that are connected to all these plastics that we need to try to move out of our, even when I tell people, if you do go to the cleaners, when you come home, take your clothes out of the plastic. Don't put them in the closet in the plastic because even the chemicals are getting into the environment already. But now you have the plastic, and when that heat, it's the heating of the plastic. And then it's, of course, absorbing it.
All right, so folks who are watching this morning and saying, oh my goodness, you know, what can I potentially do? Because I don't know how we just get rid of all the plastics in our life, but what are some, 3 takeaways that you can advise people this morning if they're interested in trying to reduce the amount of plastic that they have in their lives?
So as many things that you can buy in a glass container, do that. Even waters that come in plastic, it's like, how are we gonna get rid of that? Well, you're probably not gonna. But even when I buy my water, I immediately transfer it into a glass container and store it so I know that it's not in there as long as it would have been. So that's one thing.
And I'm sorry, quick question. What about BPA?
The BPA-free.
Is that safer?
So it's a stronger plastic, and so it doesn't break down as much. So it's a little safer. It is still a plastic. Okay, so we want to be careful. The other thing is that because it's connected to all the things that we, of course, don't want to experience later, which cancers, it can open the door to some of those. We just need to be as careful as we can with the things that we're using in our environment. And if you have to store your food, get a glass container. Get a glass container.
Is key. Transferring from plastic to glass. Any other suggestions that are easy for folks to try to switch over to?
Yeah, so the other thing too is that when you're eating your foods, don't heat them and eat them in the plastic.
Right.
Because even the coatings on the plates, on your cups, that's plastic. Try to get a container that you purchase and you make your own coffee or take it. Sometimes you can take your own cup to Starbucks. Do those kinds of things, that helps. Little things make big results. Okay, just like these small things are making big results.
Okay, so even, most of us have been using plastics our whole lives, so the small changes can make a big difference down the line. All right, so we briefly mentioned how plastics, they're not easily broken down in our bodies. So is there a way for us to get rid of those, I guess, microplastics that are getting into our system? How can we do that?
Obviously, the biggest thing is, of course, not to get them in there as much as you can. But then you're going to have to do some detoxing. That's the only way you detox from anything that's getting into the body, because there's no other way to get it out other than to get it out. And detoxing is one of the safest way to do that. And then, of course, you can be tested to make sure that you can see what your levels are.
Okay. All right. Well, Audree, as always, a breath of fresh air and so much insight when it comes to all things holistic here on the show. So we appreciate you being back and, yeah, teaching us a whole lot this morning. I appreciate you being here. For more information about Audree, you can visit audreeleehealth.com. You can also find her on social media, and she's also hosting a Zoom meeting tonight at 7 where you can learn more about natural home remedies. That information is all for you on your screen. Make sure you stick with us. Top stories are coming up next.